If you are preparing for UGC paper 1, it's very important that you don't simply rely on the revision notes. So we have a sample of revision notes here. The idea in the revision note, as you can see here, is that you have the following aspects that are covered. Now it says hypothesis. Now when it says hypothesis, it says the two types of hypothesis, that is the null and the alternative that has to be here. Now what are these hypotheses? You can simply reading this you cannot understand. Parametric and non-parametric test in itself is a very vast topic. First of all, you need to understand what is parametric, non-parametric, and then go into the details. So it is okay for a last moment revision, but where is the content? Let's say hypothesis, the testing of hypothesis, nowhere mentioned here. Now even the sampling, the types of sampling, you have multi-stage sampling. What about the other types of sampling? Now when I say other types of sampling, what would be the types of sampling that you would include here? Multi-phase. Multi-phase is one of the sampling that is not given here. So again, the types of variables have been mentioned. Where are the types of research? The types of research is nowhere mentioned. What is active research? Diagnostic research, prognostic research, ex post facto research, experimental research, laboratory research, field research. So all those are not again mentioned. When it comes to terms, now terms, going through just these 4 or 5 terms would not at all make sense. The simple reason being, these terms are okay in themselves, but you need to have, let's say in 2023 there was a question, what does TR means? Now just going through this summary itself would not make sense. Classification of variables, the measurement of variables by Stevens and qualitative measurement in itself is not a complete option, I would say. Now when I'm saying this, okay, let me have you to the right place to compare it. Now when you go on to the complete notes under research methods, you would understand these are the topics that you need to understand. So let's say under the research itself, where you need to understand confirmatory, descriptive, historical, diagnostic, prognostic, as I mentioned, evaluation, extend research, ex post facto, correlational, causal comparative. Then we have a research design, how is it made? Under research ethics again, just this is not sufficient. We need to have a proper understanding and a proper depth for the same. Also, if we move down, hypothesis, the types of hypothesis, what are errors, so those are extremely extensive topics. So as I said, just the revision notes, or if you see a mind map and you think that you have done a lot, it's not good. But last moment, just before the exam, if you want to see, okay, these are the topics, you can just have a mental quick revision using this. But otherwise, this is what the detail has to be. Even for thesis and article writing, what is ISBN, ISSN, ISMN, the impact factor, very important question, impact factor, alternative journal metrics, which had been recently asked, writing styles, again this was a question in 2023, research ethics, the obligations, the misconduct, and the recent topic which has been asked of now is positivism, post positivism. So what are the strategies, the research paradigms under it, the summative research as one of the aspects. Then under the structural, post structural, what is the basis for objectivity and subjectivity. So those kind of topics you need to understand. Now if you go on to the video lectures here, you would see we start from research here. Now even within the hypothesis, testing of hypothesis p-value, to this depth, the type 1, type 2 errors have been asked with your NET examination. So just a superficial understanding of hypothesis, saying that it is a tentative solution to a problem, would not do now, because based on the depth and the extent of the paper, you need to have this much detail in order to understand the terminologies in the research. Now this terminology focus on numerous other terminologies besides the terminologies which are given here. So that's really important that you focus on a detailed and a comprehensive material. So this was just an insight to help you understand that revision notes are okay for last minute revision, and a overview if you want to understand that you are not missing some of the topics. But again, make sure that that mind map itself is complete, because let's say hypothesis, one of the integral aspects of research aptitude, goes missing in it. So you need to have a very clear vision when you are preparing for your net paper 1, and the depth should be really good, because if you score good with your paper 1, you can have a cutting edge over other candidates who are appearing for the examination. Thanks for joining in.